New Driver is part of Road Safe NI charity. That's a charity that's been going on for over 60 years in Northern Ireland. We work with vulnerable road users right across the province. New Driver was a separate company, has been running for 10 years, and then 2 years ago they approached us and asked us would we take over the running of it and all to do with it. So now it's under the umbrella of Road Safe NI. Speeding's a big one, of course. All of the fatal five: drink, drug driving, careless driving, mobile phones and distracted driving, failing to wear a seatbelt, and speeding. All of those. You have the added pressure with young drivers, with peer pressure. Young boys in particular showing off to their friends. There's a higher rate of fatals and seriously injured among young boys and girls. You probably are aware that that's down to the frontal lobe of the brain doesn't develop in boys too much until they're around 25, which was never the deaths seem to tail off a wee bit. So all of those, all of the above, but I say peer pressure is a big thing. What we find as part of our role, we go into schools and we talk to year 13s and 14s. These are the people who are just getting their license or maybe have just started down that road. There's a lot of the old attitude that it'll never happen to me. We talk about coping mechanisms, how passengers, for example, what can you do if someone's driving too fast? Or what can you do if someone's on the phone when they're driving you? What can you do as a passenger? And we tell them how they can get out of that situation. What we find is young girls are more likely to take that message away. And you can see them thinking to themselves, I'm not going to let that happen to me anymore. Generally, boys have the old attitude that it won't happen to me. They both work in tandem. They both have to work in tandem. Education, it's a huge part of what we do, and we firmly believe that educating young drivers on the dangers of our roads will lead to safer communities now and in the future. But there needs to be, police need to be involved in this, they need to be implementing these laws, but parents also have a responsibility. Parents need to know what their young people are doing. Are they out with, late at night? Are they taking drink or drugs? So they both work in tandem. Well, there's no doubt it'll improve. It'll improve their behaviour, it'll improve their standard of driving. You don't have it in the mainland, but we have R plate here, a restricted plate. So once they pass their test, they have to put an R plate in place of the L plate, and they keep that R plate up for 1 year, and that means they are restricted to 45 miles per hour for 1 year. So whether they're in motorways, single carriageways, doesn't matter, 45 is the maximum speed they can drive. These changes coming in will allow them to train and learn to drive at 60 miles per hour on single carriageway roads, at 70 miles per hour dual carriageways and motorways. So they're better prepared for those speeds whenever they do pass their test. They will be trained at those speeds. They'll be trained how to overtake, for example, and how long they take. So it will certainly improve the standard of driving with them. Yes, we certainly have. We've just started working recently with a group of insurance companies over here, local Northern Ireland insurance companies, who run a programme where young people can get discount on their insurance if they fit a black box to the car, telematic systems, but also complete an online course of road safety. And speaking to them, they have noticed a decrease in the number of claims and collisions with young people who have carried out this training. So yes, it's all about education. Adults have a responsibility from day one because young people, no matter how young they are, they form habits seeing what their parents are doing. So if their parents are using a phone, if their parents are speeding, if their parents are showing signs of road rage, they will see that as the norm. So there's a huge responsibility on parents from their babies in the car right forward until they now get their license to make sure they are adhering to the law, make sure they're not out at night running all hours of the night, 3 or 4 friends in the car, which will be now against the law. So parents need to know where their young people are and what they're doing. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, if you have 2 or 3 guys out there who all have the same attitude that it won't happen to them, then you're going to get bad behaviours on our roads. That's where we believe if we can get as many people as we can through education and speak to them, and if you're getting a few of these people that are taking on board the message, at least when they're out with their friends in the car, they can say, look, slow down, or don't use your phone, or whatever they need to do to get out of that situation. So peer influence is huge. There has been a bit, but we're surprised there hasn't been more of a kickback about it, to be honest with you. And they seem to be accepting it okay, and whether it's because they know they've no choice or whether they see it as a better thing, I'm not sure, but we're not seeing a real bad reaction to it. We won't need to look for it. We will see a reduction in road deaths among young people and seriously injured. Give this a year, look back at the statistics then, and the statistics will speak for themselves. Implement it today. Implement it. There's other countries in the world that have similar initiatives, and it's proven across the world. So there's no negatives to it. Life saving is not about money. It's not about money. It's about lives. But every one life lost costs the economy £1.8 million. Last year we had 56 people lost their lives in Northern Ireland on our roads. So that's over almost £112 million that cost. As I say, it's not about money, but it is an important factor in life today. It takes money to make the world go round. So the savings alone will be huge, but in terms of lives it's immeasurable.